Today we're going to continue talking about determining if an equation is true when given a value. But the difference today is going to be that we're going to introduce fractions and decimals into these problems. So first we're going to discuss fractions and give a quick refresher on how to multiply them. So at the top you'll see 4 times 2 over 3. Now remember, when we multiply with fractions, we just multiply across, except this first number right here is not a fraction. It's currently a whole number. Remember that in order to change a whole number into a fraction, we have to place it over 1. So we just changed that into a fraction, and now we can just multiply straight across. Right here we have 4 times 2, which is 8, and we have 1 times 3, which is 3. Now this answer is perfectly valid and totally correct. We call this an improper fraction. Let me remind you that in order to change these into mixed numbers, we simply divide. This means 8 divided by 3. So top dog goes in the house. How many whole times does 3 go into 8? You're probably saying 2 whole times. I subtract 6. 2 is left over. Well, obviously 3 can't go into 2, so I have 2 left over out of my denominator of 3. So on the bottom, I'm going to place 3. So this is equivalent to 2 wholes and 2/3. We discussed this at the beginning of the year. So let's try the same thing for the next example. I have 4/5 times 3. The only difference being the fact that the whole number is a second number, but I can turn it into a fraction again by placing it over 1. So I'm going to multiply straight across after that. I have 4 times 3, which is 12, and 5 times 1, which is 5. Again, this is correct, but let's go ahead and change this to a mixed number by dividing. Remember, this means 12 divided by 5, so top dog goes in the house. How many whole times can 5 go into 12? 2 whole times. I'm going to subtract 10. 2 is left over. Obviously 5 cannot go into 2 right here, so 2 is left over out of my denominator of 5. Remember, the denominator doesn't change. So this one would be equal to 2 and 2/5. Box that. Alright, take a moment to pause and catch up if you need to, but if not, I'm going to move on to the next one. This is where we introduce the fractions into the problems we were working with earlier. It says, which equation has a solution of 2/3 for n? So anywhere you see an n, you're going to put 2/3 in there. Let's go ahead and start off by double checking if A could possibly be my correct answer. So A says n minus 1 equals 1/3. Okay, well, we said that n is going to be equivalent to 2/3, so instead of writing n, I'm going to write 2/3. And then I'm going to bring everything else in this problem down. We haven't talked about adding or subtracting fractions, but you have seen it before, so I'm going to go very briefly. You saw this in elementary school, so I'm going to cut that into 3 pieces because that's my denominator. I'm going to shade 2 pieces out of the 3 because that's my numerator. Bring down my minus. And then over here I have 1 whole. In order to have a whole, I need to shade in all these pieces, right? That is 1 whole, or 3 out of 3. And I'm bringing everything else down. Okay, well, I have 2/3 minus 3/3. Like this, 2/3 minus 3/3. You're probably already thinking, this is false. This is not true. And you are correct. 2 minus 3 is -1, and then obviously I keep my denominator the same. And on this side, I have positive 1/3. This is not true, so we're going to cross that off. All right, B is next. Again, if you need to take a moment to pause and catch up, that's totally fine. B says 16n should equal 24. Now remember, between these two things, we have some multiplication. So I'm going to put that in 16 times, and then we said n is 2 over 3, and this should equal 24. Earlier we talked about changing whole numbers into fractions by putting them over 1. And now we can multiply as normal. I have 16 times 2, and I'll tell you right now that that's 32. And 1 times 3 is my denominator, and I'm going to tell you that that is 3. This should equal 24. Now, I'm not going to fully divide. 32 divided by 3, well, that's close to 30 divided by 3. I can already tell that this is not going to be true. I know that 30 divided by 3 is going to be 10, so 32 divided by 3 is going to be very close to that. So this is not true. C should probably be correct, but let's go ahead and prove why. For C, we have 15n equals 10. 15n equals 10. And we said wherever we see an n, we're going to plug in 2/3. So let me do times 2/3 equals 10. Again, in order to make this whole number a fraction, we put it over 1. And next we do 15 times 2, which is 30. And 1 times 3, which is 3. And this should equal 10. Now, obviously, this doesn't look like it's correct, but remember that fractions mean division. And this is 30 divided by 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10. And is it true that 10 equals 10? Absolutely. So we can go ahead and mark C as the correct answer. Pause for a moment, give yourself like a 10-second break since I'm currently not in the room. And let's go down to these decimals. All right. So again, we talked about decimal multiplication and division at the beginning of the year, but let's refresh. Over here I have 4.5 times 7. So I'm going to make sure when I actually multiply, I put 4.5 on the top because it has more digits than 7. Now I'm going to do 7 times 5. Which is 35. And next I'm going to do 7 times 4, which is 28, but then plus 3 more, I'm going to get 31. Is that my answer? Is my answer 315? Hopefully you're saying no, because I have a decimal place of 1. Like I have one decimal place. So I need to start at the back and move 1 time. My actual answer is 31.5. I'm going quickly again because you've learned this. I'm just quickly refreshing. On this one, you'll probably notice 2 things. One of those things is that we have a negative sign. And the second thing is that we have parentheses. Remember, when a number is squished together with another one with parentheses, this is multiplying. Which one should I put on top? Hopefully you're thinking 6.8 because it has more digits, and we'll put -2 on the bottom. What is a negative times a positive? A negative times a positive is a negative, so I know my product when I'm finished will be negative, but I'll go ahead and multiply as normal. 2 times 8, that is 16, carry my 1. 2 times 6, right here is 12, plus 1 more is 13. Oops. There we go, 13. All right, is my answer -136? No, not quite. I have this one decimal spot right here, so I need to move it over once as well. My correct answer is -13.6. Box it. All right, if you need to, take a quick break, but we are almost done. This last one says, which equation has a solution of k equals 6.5? Wherever I see a k, I'm going to insert a 6.5. Now, I'm going to try to do as little math as possible here. And the reason for it is I can remember my rules. If I look at A, it says -3k equals 19.5. Remember, when I have a number squished with another one, this is telling me to multiply. So this is -3 times k, which they're saying is 6.5, should equal 19.5. Now, I'm telling you this is wrong. And the reason I know is because a negative number times a positive is a negative. So when I multiply this out, this is going to be negative. Is a negative number equal to a positive number? Absolutely not. This one's out. So let's look at B. B says -1 plus k equals 7.5. So in other words, -1 plus 6.5 should equal 7.5 is what we're saying. Okay, when I have the same signs, I can go ahead and add and keep the sign of the one that has more. These are not the same signs. I have a negative right here and I have a positive. So I cannot add these. I'm technically supposed to subtract. Or this is like owing me $1 and then bringing $6.50 back. You don't owe me anymore, but you also don't end up with more money right here. So that one's not correct. Let's talk about C. I have -7k, and it should equal -45.5. Okay, well, -7 times 40, oops, not 40, 6.5, I'm so sorry, equals -45.5. Let's check if that's true. So obviously a negative times a positive is going to get me a negative, so I can't really eliminate this one. I actually have to multiply out. I have 6.5 on top because it has more digits times 7. Well, 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 3 more is 45. Move my decimal over one spot. And this was in fact true. So it looks like C is going to be correct. Let's quickly talk about D, and then you'll move on to your independent practice. You got -2 plus K, and they're saying this is -8.5. Now remember, if I have same signs, I can add. If I have different signs, I need to subtract. So I have -2 plus 6.5, and we're saying this is -8.5. I have a negative and a positive. I'm not going to add those, but look at what this question says. It added those two numbers. And it put the wrong sign. I have more positives over here than I do negatives. So this one messed up all the rules, and we're going to go ahead and cross that off. This needs to go in your binder. You have a Kahoot to practice on. You need to make sure that you have a scratch sheet of paper or an expo to show your work. There are some that you must show your work on. Thank you very much. Make sure you're on task.